P22, Super Julie, Harvest Moon on the other side, White Prairie there, Sugarloaf, Sweet Tart, Graham. I've got White Sapote, Lula. I actually have no irrigation here. I have about 15 to 16 inches of mulch. I wanted to put as many varieties as possible. And I still have some room to be able to do that. I could probably get another row here. My Indian customers want Kerry or Bengampali, which not a lot of people are growing.
So it's all mangoes except for that White Sapote here in the front, right? So in this environment, what zone are you in?
I think it's 10A now or 9B. That is a 65-gallon short Super Julie.
And what's your personal favorite #1 mango?
Dot.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. We are in Odessa, Florida, which is near Tampa Bay. And this is Mike Gonzalez, and he had me coming out to check out his fruit trees, but he also has an amazing nursery. He's growing and selling trees as well. He has a ton of mango trees, avocado trees, and other trees. I'm so excited about checking out his place today. How long have you been at this location?
About 4 years.
4 years. And what excited you? What made you start doing this?
Just living in California and then moving to Florida and just seeing oak trees, and that's about it. You know, I want everybody to be able to have a fruit tree in their yard. That's my goal.
Wow. And he even has White Sapote growing here, which has it fruited yet?
It had fruit on it before I planted it, but it has not flowered since being in the ground. So I'm working on that.
When you were in California, did you have White Sapote?
That's why I brought it. Yeah.
What was your favorite White Sapote in California?
McDill. McDill is really, really good. And they grow it a lot out there.
Yeah, California is great for White Sapote. Well, thank you, everybody. We're going to have a great time today. We're going to look around this property. And here we go. Here we are with Michael Gonzalez. We are located here in Odessa, Florida. And he has a nursery up here, and he's growing a lot of mangoes himself. So I see all these mangoes. How you doing, man?
Good, good.
How long you been at this property?
About 4 years, maybe a little over 4 years.
And what made you decide to sell and grow mangoes and other fruit trees?
I moved here when I was about 11 or 12 years old from California, and all I seen was oak trees, pine trees, and cypress trees. So I thought to myself that we needed more fruit trees in people's yards. So,
did your family grow stuff in California?
Yeah, for a long time. I mean, we have always had a garden. You know, ants. At my place, we had, you know, apples and peaches and apricots, that kind of thing. But we always had some sort of thing growing that was edible. So.
All right. Well, show us what you're growing here, and then we'll check out your trees in your nursery, because now this is all your property. How big's the property?
It's about 0.75 acres, 3/4, something like that.
That's a pretty big lot.
Yeah, but it's mostly side and front, which makes it exposed.
Now you do have an empty lot here. Is this a septic tank area, or is it just empty?
Just empty. The septic is actually on the other side of the driveway.
Okay.
So the reason that I left this open was because I pulled the trailers in through here.
Okay.
So I did fill in, you know, I put a Pakistani mulberry over there, which I think is Pakistani. I put Fuang Tung, starfruit, and a peach. But the peach is about to get replaced soon. So.
Okay. Why are you replacing the peach?
In my experience, you know, you're fighting the squirrels and the birds with the peaches more than you are with the mangoes. And the mangoes are a little bit easier to grow.
All right, so tell us about the mangoes. You know about mangoes, you tasted a lot of them. Why this selection and the placement of them? What do you got here?
Most of these are some of my more favorite varieties that I like to eat. P22, Super Julie, Harvest Moon on the other side, White Prairie there, Sugarloaf, Sweet Tart, Graham. I've got White Sapote, Lula, and Ruby Supreme Guava over there, and Butterscotch Sapodilla. And then in the middle here, I've got Carrie, which is my most recent planting, these three, and the two over there on the other side of the mulch. They're the more younger trees.
Ugly Betty, and what else?
And Honeykiss.
Okay, and how old are the other ones, the trees in the ground?
About 3.5 years.
And what size were they when you bought them?
Most of the trees that I planted here, with the exception of the P22, was all 25-gallon tree.
Oh, so you planted them pretty big.
Yeah, okay. And the zinc, I think, was a 7-gallon when I got it, because I got that from Excalibur. Zill doesn't make zinc anymore. They don't graft it, at least.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I had to find it, but it's a really, really good mango. That's why I.
And what about the white sapote? What kind of white sapote do you have?
That is, it was labeled USDA when I got it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the variety or if it was just labeled that way, but I did bring some seedlings over from San Diego. I think it was a McDill seedling and something else. But I love white sapote, and it's not talked about enough.
It's very underrated.
Yeah.
I love it as well. Yes. Well, this is a great selection. Do you water your trees here, or you just let the rain do?
That takes care of keeping them, keeping it moist, or keeping a buffer so I don't have to water as much. I do come out here and water in the wintertime, though. When it's windy and dry, the moisture kind of gets sucked out of the ground faster, so I have to water by hand sometimes.
Do you get the bacterial black spot up here?
Only on my Graham. That's the only variety,
really?
But it's real prone to bacterial black spot anyway. In fact, I just found one and I put it over there. We can take a look at it in a second.
So that's the only one.
That's the only one that really has any problems with bacterial black spot.
Okay.
I do have productivity issues, at least this year, because I think it's because of the weather, but everybody across Florida has had that. But I think it was the issues with cold fronts.
Sure. And what about raccoons and squirrels? How's that out here?
Raccoons, they only go after my chickens. I had chickens, but the raccoons got them. The squirrels, this area is kind of exposed, and there's hawks that fly around a lot, so I don't see a lot of squirrels over here. Not during the day, at least. In the backyard, I take care of the squirrels.
Okay. So, when I interview people and I see they're having success, people say I'm obsessed with this, but I think it's important for people to know, what is the spacing on your trees?
So I wanted to put as many varieties as possible, and I still have some room to be able to do that. I could probably get another row here, another 6 trees here on the outside, but I did about 12 feet. I didn't measure it exactly, but so from the sugarloaf here, that way is all 12 feet. And then these 2 rows against the street are about 10 feet.
Okay.
And I kind of regret doing that. I probably would have given them more room, because everybody thinks, oh, my trees are doing well, but they're only a couple years in. What about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? And you're going to end up with mango trees with, 3-foot trunks, and then they're not going to have much room to grow. I want to keep it like this. I don't want to have to remove trees. So we're going to see what happens,
Sure.
I'll let them go taller, but not wider, because I have a long enough pole to let them go maybe another 5 feet in height. And
now, realistically, how high would you like to keep them? Because, would you eventually want to prune them, from growing too high, or you don't care how high they grow?
I probably want to keep them at 15 to 18 feet. Okay. I don't want them to go any higher than that, because then it gets dangerous. You got to get a ladder out in the mulch and it moves around. But just as an example, maybe just a couple more, 3 or 4 more feet on the peach cobbler right there, which is the farthest tree, and the 015. And I just need to keep them pruned so that they have airflow and they're not touching each other. So
yeah, which takes work, especially out here in the heat.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's great. And when you say when you use the words you regret it or whatever, you got to deal with what you did. But what would you recommend to people if you were consultation somebody and they said they want to grow this many trees and they had this much land?
Yeah, I would have done in a home setting, depending on how many trees that they want to keep. You know, you can always top work them and get a couple varieties out of each tree. That's a common thing. But I would have done probably 14 feet at least. Yeah. Because I'm already at a point where the trees are running into each other.
Sure.
And it's only year 3, so.
Yeah, from my experience, I'm going to share it because I know those of you that are watching have heard it, and if you see my videos, probably know.
Yeah.
I'm really highly in favor of the high density gardening, but I think as temporary. I think ultimately we want our trees to be 16 by 20, I find to be the ideal spacing. However, you can get by closer on one side of the tree, leaving 3 side of the trees open.
Yeah.
So if you had 2 trees here in front of us and they were close, as long as they were like almost like the letter 8, where only one side was touching, then you're getting 3 sides of mangoes.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah, you want the most sunlight possible on the sides of the trees, and you'll get more fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everyone does it themselves and will learn themselves, and this is a great selection what you have here. Excellent selection. And you also sell mangoes as well?
I also sell trees and fruit. I usually do harvesting on Friday evenings this year and then sell Saturday morning. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And what's your best-selling fruit normally?
The most requested fruit is probably, P22, orange sherbet, pineapple pleasure, the big names.
Sure.
Fruit punch. But a lot of my Indian customers want Kerry or Bengampali, which not a lot of people are growing.
Do you have that?
I have a tree. I don't have it planted yet. I'm gonna plant it. Son Paris. I have a Son Paris over there.
Really nice.
That's a really good one.
And where do you advertise? Do you have a website?
Yeah, just my Facebook is Food Forest Tampa. I don't have a website, but it's just word of mouth.
All right. Yeah. So that's great. And how often do you mulch them? Because I see the mulch here.
I usually retop the mulch once or twice a year, and that keeps it looking pretty good. Not just me, but I think everybody has an issue with this grass that comes up. I don't know what it's called, nutsedge, or I call it torpedo grass because underneath it has all these runners. So that can be a pain. Even if you cover it up, it just comes right back. But if you hand pull it and you get all of it, it's gone. But it can be a challenge on that.
All right, so this goes back here. This is a great selection of trees. So it's all mangoes except for that white zapote here in the front, right?
And guava, lula avocado, and butterscotch sapodilla.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
a triple sec, a Son Paris.
And these are the last 2 that I planted about 6 months ago. I had to wait a long time to find these 2 trees, and I saved these 2 spots for them. The Super Alfonso is the only tree I planted in 45 gallon, so that's why that one is such a big tree. But that one's relatively new too. I planted about 6 to 8 months ago.
And spacing wise, what was that?
These are about 12 feet.
12 feet,
about 12 feet.
More.
Yeah, okay. I didn't exactly measure it. And then I have electric and fiber that kind of run here to the side of the house, so I kind of have to work around that.
Do you think the roots will affect that, or you don't know?
I hope not. I don't think so. Mangoes aren't too aggressive with the roots. They have tap root, and they've got feeder roots, and sometimes even little fine air roots that come up. But
your neighbors over there, they don't mind you planting?
No. In fact, my neighbor just bought that house about a year ago, and he wanted kind of a privacy hedge in the back. And I said, hey, you know, we could plant mango trees across the back and they grow really fast. So I've got 9 different varieties back there. Karen Michelle, Namdak Mai, and 7 other ones. And then I have an ox sapodilla back there too. And then I'm planning to plant a couple more. I have a Spirit of 76 right there. I'm going to plant another one, maybe an Angie, maybe a Mark Anthony that I got from Andy Bayless over here. I'm not sure what I'm going to plant yet.
So in this environment, what zone are you in?
I think it's 10A now or 9B. I don't know.
So do you get any
we do, yeah, we get
frost?
some frost, yeah. This past year, past winter, we didn't get any frost, but the 2 previous years before that, we did get frost. And I did lose one tree. I planted the sweet tart over here. I had a 3-gallon, because at the time, that's all I could get. And it was real low to the ground, real small 3-gallon, and that one died. The frost got it. But as long as it's a light frost, these trees should be fine. If it gets any colder, you know, in the high 20s, mid 20s, then I might have some issues, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, it's looking great. Wow. And you got all these in pots, and these are what you got for sale?
Yeah, this is kind of an overflow area that I had to use because I ran out of room in the backyard. But all these trees, and most of the trees back here are growing out. So I moved them from 7 to 15 or 15 to 25, 25 to 45 or 65. And they just need time for, you know, some of them are ready. Some need a little bit of time.
So give us an example how much a 25-gallon pot is of a mango tree. Does it depend on the mango, or it's...
As far as size goes?
Price.
Price. The 25 gallons are $250. I do deliver in the area, so Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater area. Sometimes I go farther than that.
Is there a delivery fee, or...?
No, not in the area.
Oh,
I'll deliver.
buy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
The 45s are $600, and the 65s are $900.
Now you don't move those by yourself, the 45?
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I have some hooks that I get into the little holes at the bottom, and I pull them into the trailer.
Wow.
But some of them are so big, you have to kind of angle them so the tops of the trees don't get messed up.
Sure.
And then you have to strap them down because you don't want them falling over.
Wow.
But I just had somebody here, and he was asking me, he said, hey, are these fully rooted in? And I went to I have a Venus and 45 gallon over there, and you lift it up a little bit and you can hear the roots, you know, they're attached in the bottom. So
you got to move them every now and then so they don't get... All right, so this tree here is how big is this, a 45 gallon?
That is a 65 gallon short Super Julie.
Okay, so you have a mango on there.
Yep.
So what do you get? Do you get mangoes on 25 gallons?
I usually don't let them hold fruit, even on a 25 gallon, only sometimes. If the branches are thick enough, fine. If a customer wants to hold the fruit, leave the fruit on there, then I'll leave it on there. But I usually take it off. This one just has just one fruit on it. This tree's actually sold. I just have to deliver it, but it's over in Apopka, so I just have to find time to get over there. So.
Nice. And then we come here. This is amazing, everybody. Look at this. Look at this. I love these house nurseries. Look at this. Wow. So besides mangoes and different sizes, what else you got here?
I try to get sapodilla. I get Barbados cherry, a couple different types of guava. I have some red Ilama seedlings growing out back there. Jaboticaba, passion fruit, and right now I have about 9 or 10 different varieties of avocados too.
Oh wow! So now, real quick, you walk by traffic, and you get any walk by traffic? Does anyone stop and take mangoes or anything?
They try.
They do.
They have in the past, you know, quite a few times, and then my neighbors caught people. I might have to get some cameras or something because it's kind of a problem.
Okay.
If
Is that drive by, stop traffic, or walk by?
They usually drive in. Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody came over and asked, they can have mangoes. You know, it's not a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so there's all these mangoes here. Now you got some mango trees in the back. What kind do you got back there in the ground?
So I've got in the corner, I've got orange sherbet and cotton candy, and then oro negro, Suriname cherry. That's a Zills black. I have a little pickering over there, and then I have a couple dragon fruit poles with. On the fence, I have some passion fruit. And that's grown all the way up the oak tree, and it'll drop fruit all over the place.
Really, does it? So passion fruit is not, it is self-pollinating, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It just
That was that
it
good
produces
because
so much fruit.
I got a small yard, and I kind of come to the conclusion I don't want vines in my yard because they kind of take over things.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think it's worth it to have all those fruits at the best, or?
Initially, I didn't let it climb up the oak tree, but now it just kind of did it by itself. So I left it, and now that it's producing, it just drops fruit everywhere. So when customers come over and they see that, I always give them all of it, whatever I can.
Wow. This is amazing.
I also have finger lime, mulberry, starfruit, pineapples. And then I usually try to keep, and I have long end too, Sri Shampoo long end. I usually try to keep a lot of different varieties of mangoes, at least in 3 gallon, 7 gallon. But I usually have about 50, 60 different varieties of mango.
Wow. Well, what's your personal favorite #1 mango?
Dot.
Dot, really? And you have some in the ground?
Yep. I've got a tree next to my Valencia Pride over there.
And trees in the back here, how far apart are they? Same?
These 3 trees here, they're about 9 feet. And again, it's going to be a challenge a couple years from now because they grow, every year they grow exponentially faster. You know.
And what do you say when you see people growing stuff like 5 feet apart? Do you say anything, or do you, like if they come to buy trees and you go, oh, I'm going to grow them 5 feet apart, what do you tell them?
I've seen it. I've seen it down there. I think down there in you're in Delray, right? I've seen it down there where this guy has. It was actually on YouTube. They had a small island, and he had probably 7 or 8 different varieties of mango planted right next to each other, and it's doable. Production wise, I just don't know how it's going to produce because you want, like you said, you want the tree to have sunlight. You need it to breathe for fungal reasons, and the root systems are going to be fighting each other at the same time too.
Sure.
So you want to give them a little bit of room.
Sure. And your dot, let's go back to that. Dot's your favorite. I mean, that's Alex at Tropical Acres loves that also. But people don't understand, if you pick a dot ripe, it's not going to be that great. But if you get them unripe off the tree, they're amazing, right?
Right. Yeah. I like to pick dot if you see any color on it, pick it.
Yeah.
And it'll start turning kind of an orange color. As soon as you see that, or as soon as you see the skin start to smooth out, kind of like a carry does, pick it, let it ripen inside.
Pretty amazing, yes.
It's the most intense flavor ever.
You know what I don't see a lot down here? I don't see a lot of people. I've been to several places. Sunrise is wonderful, and I haven't seen too many people with that one.
My buddy Bill grows a lot of Sunrise on Pine Island. And but yeah, a lot of people don't grow that. I was planning on planting one because I had some in 7 gallon, but I have other ones in line ahead of that.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my favorites. So how far are you from Pine Island?
It's about 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have in line before sunrise? To go in the ground.
See. Angie, creme brulee, Mark Anthony, maybe another Pickering, another fruit punch.
Before sunrise, you would put all those in the ground?
Before sunrise,
wow,
yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Sunrise is a really vigorous tree, too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Not that I want all dwarf varieties or anything like that, but I just want, I need to get an Angie in the ground. I need to get the Mark Anthony in the ground, you know.
Sure. All right, so we come back here. Here's your avocados. You said how many varieties of avocado?
I have about 10 right now.
Wow.
In 10 different, 9 or 10 different
What's
varieties.
your favorite variety of avocado?
Probably I have 3 planted. So I have Oro Negro. That one's really, really good. It's really forgiving on how you harvest the fruit. You can pick it early. It'll ripen just fine. You can let it ripen on the tree. Then you're running into, rodent issues, or you're fighting the birds and stuff. I have Super Haas, which I really, really like. I haven't run into the uneven ripening issue because I like to leave them on the tree as long as possible. But probably Oro Negro is my favorite.
And, okay, now how do you water these in the pots? Because I don't see sprinkles.
I hand water everything.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Right
now, so this is what I found. In the wintertime, when we have wind and dry conditions, you have to water. Of course, you can overwater in the wintertime too, but sometimes you have to water twice a day. If it's sunny and warm but dry, you have to water it. Right now, with as much as it's been raining, even sprinkling a little bit, I haven't watered in probably a week.
So when you water, how long does it take you to water all these?
I can get this whole section that has landscape mat down probably in 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
By hand?
Yep. I just go down with a wand. I have the hose with a wand, and I go down here, hit each side, hit all and I try to water just the buckets. I don't like watering the leaves or anything like that. So I just hit the containers, and I go down the rows like that.
So how long are you on top of each bucket?
Oh, just enough to get it wet.
Okay.
That's it. I don't. A lot of times you can feel how heavy the container it is, or just move it with your foot, and you'll know how much moisture is in the container. So to water it a little more, or just give it a little bit.
Now, is this your main job, or this is a side?
No, just a side.
Okay.
It started out as a hobby, and turned into an obsession. And then sort of a business.
Okay. And what else you got growing back here?
I put a loquat that I brought from California in the coop. The coop I'm still finishing. I've got a Grimmel jaboticaba over there, Pitanga tuba over there, and then everything else is labeled. So Super Haas, Maha Chinook. There's still a few more mangoes on there. This is a red Meridol papaya.
Okay, that's a big papaya.
Yeah, it's too big. I think I'm going to cut it and then just let it branch, And this is a seedling here that is finally fruiting. Ice cream mango. I have bananas back there. It was just a Craigslist special that I found. It was supposed to be the pink banana. Musa Valentina. Yeah. But it's not. It's something else. Namwa, which is my favorite, and I've gotten about 7 racks off of there.
Wow.
Ice cream bean, which is fruiting for the second time. So these will fill out. They're real thin right now, but they'll fill out and swell up. The seeds will get bigger, and the edible part around the seed will get bigger. I think it'll probably take another month or 2 for them to swell up and be ready. I've got double Mahoy, Mauritius, and then sweet almond.
Now that Mauritius tree is going to get big.
It will get big. Yeah, my neighbor's got one, and it takes up like almost his whole backyard.
So what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to try to prune it and try to keep it small, but that's an issue too, because you're not supposed to prune lychees too much. Otherwise, they won't fruit until the next season after that. So I'll have to stay on top of that to keep it small.
Even though people try to keep mangoes small and trimmed, I hear with big varieties the same issue. Like if it's a Valencia Pride, you try to keep it small, you're going to run into issues.
Yeah, it can be alternate bearing too, the Valencia Pride. So a lot of people ask me, how do I keep the edge clean? And what I do is I'll hit it with the like a trimmer and I'll trim, make an edge around like that. And then I come back and I hit it with the roofing torch to keep it real clean. And that's why you see some of the leaves there, they're dry. So
how often do you do that?
When I do it that way, you only have to do the edge probably, I would say like every couple months.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to do it.
And then we come here and there's a coconut tree over there, a coconut
cream and coffee in the corner.
Now, as much as big and beautiful this property is, would you say how many acres you have?
3/4, something like that.
Don't look like that big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. This is nice.
I try to fit a lot into a little space. And it, you know, I didn't know that the sweet almond would get that big. So.
Wow. And what about the oak trees? You have 2 oak trees in each corner here. They're beautiful, but they create a lot of shade. Did you have any desire, or do you ever say, I want to get rid of that?
These trees, because I want to put pineapples and more jabos over here. So I may leave this oak tree. The other oak tree in the front, which is that one over there on the other side of the house, I might remove that because it's going to give me another row of mangoes that I could plant. So I can, if I take that oak tree out, I can probably get 4 or 5 more mango trees, and it would be easier to get my trailers in the backyard too. So
wow. Well, this is great. Thank you for showing us. I'm going to put your link below. Tell us the Facebook link again.
Food Forest Tampa.
Okay, this is wonderful. And is there anything you're not growing here because you're in this zone that you want a maize or something?
I would love to grow mamey. I've tried. I had them in pots and I've sold them before, but every time we get a cold, it causes the fruit to drop off. So I know some other people that are near the water are having success with mamey. I had another customer that's growing over by Lake Tarpon. They're growing vanilla and black pepper and things that you would never even think would even survive at all. And they're doing it, it's really easy without any effort at all, just because of the microclimate over there.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this is very impressive. Thanks a lot for having me come on out.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everybody, there it was. That was this amazing place. I'm going to put the link below if you're in the Tampa area and you want to get a fruit tree. But he also sells fruit during season. Right now he has mangoes, depending when this is going to upload, but check with him anyway. But he has mangoes for sale during mango season, avocados during avocado season, just a whole bunch of great stuff. Thank you for showing us around and having us come out.
Thanks for coming out.
It started raining when we started here, but it stopped. The weather's beautiful. The trees look great. This was a really nice property. So do you do tours if somebody's really interested in doing that?
I've had a lot of people come out and I always give them, you know, a tour of the property. Yeah,
everybody, if you have an opportunity and you're in the Tampa area, definitely contact Mike. I'll put his Facebook link below. And thanks again, man.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, have a great day, everybody, and keep growing. For more educational videos about mangoes and other fruits and how to grow fruit trees, please look out the other videos on this channel, Fruitful Trees, and also subscribe if you like, and also share these videos with others. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.